embrace the solution. Then he later went further to tell us a little bit of where the problem started. He gave us example of countries that Uganda, where missionaries were killed, where believers was killed in millions after their coming to know Christ. And he made mention of believers withdrawing from government, that the economic power of nations are not surrendered into the hands of government. And it's obvious that since 90 since the 90s till now, it's still the same experience and the same situation. So it means the bad governance has continued. Then in page 91, he says something that Africans have become, there was the word he used. He said, Africans have become docile. That means we believe that there's nothing that has to be done, that the Americans have made us to feel that heaven is the goal, but why they are enjoying heaven on earth. And it was a call to responsibility, that we should be neutral when it comes to the matters of politics. And he said that we have a role to play. That means it is our responsibility. Like Sister Okegene said, she said that over time we have been made to relax and just thank God that we are not part of the crisis, not knowing that it is affecting us, whether consciously or unconsciously. And if we are not going to play our own part in rendering the solution, let's not forget that we have children, and we have children to come, so that what we have been able to put us together and play an active role will neglect, and we're leaving the responsibility for generations to come, which our children and our children's children are part of. So he said it's a call to responsibility. He made mention that the the greatest menace of the society in Africa is poverty, and poverty is equal to understand that even if we have been told that thank God my family is exempted, but we have to know that we are one body, and whatever happens to one part of the body happens to the other. So even if we are eating and our brothers in the faith and our sisters in the faith are also not eating, they are suffering, it means that there's also an itch in the body and there's also an injury, which is a call to responsibility to actually for us to come out and be responsible and play our quota, because it's not just about us, but about our sisters and brothers, both far and wide, that we have to take on the responsibility to make our own quota in solving the menace of the society. There are other menace which he made mention. He made mention of insecurity, which is one of the issue, using Nigeria as a case of study, one of the issue that has come to stay. And our ability to know that, to identify the problems, gives us a huge point of what has to be done. So in 34, page 10, he said, Africa needs leaders of integrity. And that is why the menace has continued over time, because the leaders that we are having are leaders that are actually coming into position for their own benefit, not knowing that government ought to be government for the people, by the people, and of the people. So we are having the government we see now, government who are government for themselves and their family and their relatives and their children to come and their generation, not government for the general welfare of the public, which has created a menace for the society. He made mention that poverty means injustice, which means if we are endowed with so much resources, with so much skill, with so much gift, with so much ability to be able to cultivate that which was given, and we are not still be able to utilize it and come to a proper standard of living for the society, that means the resources are used and are used for the few, which is actually injustice. Because what ought to be for somebody else, another person is actually hoping it for his or herself, which makes the act an act of injustice. So um, the writer made mention that we also have to remove our gaze from materialism and and look at the problem, because most times when some person hear this preaching, they tend not to even go back and ask, okay, what is my role to play? They just start moving with a lot of zeal to actually gain the wealth, not knowing that, okay, if this wealth I'm going to get, what is it for? What does God wants me to use it to do? So they leave the goal, which is actually making Africa a better place. They now move to acquiring wealth for only themselves and not extending hand, which makes us also in the same circle. We always roll in the same circle. So we have to go back and know the root cause of poverty and underdevelopment, which the writer said in passive. We have the resources, we have the ability to cultivate and
Are you done? Are you done? No, no.
come back. If we look in depth into the matter, we'll see that it's all problem. It's not just peculiar with Nigeria, but it's a problem in Africa. So let's not just admire other countries, not knowing that we're also in the same circle facing the same issue. Just that some countries tends to be facing a higher level of difficulty than other countries. So the most important thing that the writer made us to understand is that it is a call to responsibility. That means we should not just relax and just wait for heaven when we know that it has responsibility to make our own quota in terms of God wants us to live well and God wants us to live healthy. So and God is dishonored when we are not living well. God is not happy when people are sick, when people are dying, when there is poverty that is not created by Him. So He wants us, it's a court responsibility for we also to act. So Judge Kinoti and also the 76 quote by Duong Nicholas was actually what is happening. Nothing, we are nothing added When I was reading through, I was just seeing that this is not far fetched. Is This thing is not far fetched. It's what we can actually um, see around us. It's what we can understand. It's the experience that we are seeing every day. So that's why we have to make it a personal quote that's and a personal responsibility that when I have the opportunity to help, I should, because God is not satisfied with uh, the state of the country, seeing that His blessing is not being neglected and His blessing is not utilized the way it ought to be. So we should not also sway away from the sphere of influence. Like Christians have been told once and over again that they should not get involved in politics, even those that have the gift to be able to administrate, but still they are not given the opportunity to do so. So it's actually a call to responsibility, and the problem and solution lies in the same um, environment. Thank you very much, sir.